This woman, illegal immigrant Juana Loa Nunez, is accused of a hit and run on a church daycare teacher. Jessica Parks of Indianapolis was hit with such force she was thrown into the air and suffered a broken leg before the suspect sped off. ICE issued a detainer request, but Marion County released the driver after finding her anyway. The county blames ICE for failing to get a warrant, but Ricardo Wong, head of ICE's Chicago office, shot back. Marion County brazenly ignored an immigration detainer and released a Mexican woman from its jail without first notifying ICE. Pastor James Jackson of Fervent Prayer Church was at the scene of the hit and run and joins us now from Indianapolis. It is another shocker to hear the facts of this. Thank goodness Jessica survived. But your feelings, given now that we know that the perpetrator is gone, they tried to approach her at her supposed place of residence, and the door was answered by someone said she didn't live there anymore, Pastor.
Yeah, absolutely. Laura, thanks for having us on today. I think we're at crisis point in our country, and certainly here in Indianapolis, when someone who nearly kills someone is released less than a week after the incident occurred, and the agencies involved for making sure that she is held accountable for what happened, not doing enough. We need to be more conscientious about these kinds of things to make sure that they don't happen again in the future.
And I think, Pastor Jackson, that a lot of Americans, they don't hear these crimes reported. We try to keep track of them. Many news organizations will not report the legal status or illegal status of the perpetrators, of the accused, of the arrested. So you have to really dig for this information. In this case, we're able to get it. And what's amazing here is that Jessica, who suffered the broken leg and other more minor injuries, but the broken leg was thrown from the car, she's forgiving the assailant, who's now apparently absconded.
Yeah, and that's something that is not surprising to me, that Jessica did forgive her, and certainly we all do. But there is a accountability, and this young woman, Ms. Nunez, fled the scene. And if it hadn't been for our daycare worker in the bus, who was right there when it happened and chased her down in the bus, and then another citizen also making sure that she was detained, we would never have known possibly who had done this. And so for local authorities to release her on bond, which I don't think is something that was thought through as thoroughly as it should have been. Ms. Nunez enjoyed a benefit that is offered to U.S. citizens. As a non-U.S. citizen, she doesn't have that benefit, in fact, because she had a level 6 felony. So she should never have been released from the jail.
And you obviously have been following the sanctuary policies in places like California, Pastor Jackson, where this kind of stuff sadly happens all the time. There are rampant hit and runs, DWIs, DUIs, throughout the country, especially in areas that are populated by a lot of illegal aliens. And yet they will not cooperate with ICE authorities, and we have a trail of victims leading behind. Your final thoughts very quickly.
Yeah, I think we're sending the wrong message across the nation when these kinds of things happen. And it's very unfortunate that we would have any city that would protect anyone who is participating in lawless behavior, and for the individuals who are facilitating and financing that kind of lawlessness.
Pastor Jackson, I'm sorry to interrupt, but it is a shocker that this happened. We really appreciate your joining us tonight, and we'll stay on this story. We'll be right back.